The biggest, prettiest models with the biggest following always show up on time. They're super grateful. They know how to pose. They're hyper professional. They're never doing drugs. It's the girl with 4K followers who's asking you to pay for her hotel and her fucking her plane ride. She's not like just nothing but trouble. People who've done multiple deals with you, and you probably don't have to be on the phone with them every day because they understand. They give you a longer leash. They give you more leeway. One of the issues I have in the coaching space is that if a guy comes and he does 20K paid in full, I never have problems from this guy. He follows all my directions because he's super invested in the program. When I have a guy who comes in for my free program and he's haggling with my sales guy on my like cheapest product, I just know I'm going to have to deal with shit with this dude. Yeah. Like it's almost to the point where like, why are we even, let's just get rid of, like it's the same. I don't know if it was Grant Cardone or somebody was talking. He was like, I've got 40,000 people in my program. We keep hearing the same 10 names. Can we just fire them? Do you have the same issue where like your bigger investors, by the way, it's the same thing with models. The biggest, prettiest models with the biggest following always show up on time. They're super grateful. They know how to pose. They're hyper professional. They're never doing drugs. It's the girl with 4K followers who's asking you to pay for her hotel and her fucking her plane ride. She's not like just nothing but trouble.
Why do you think that is?
Because entitlement. Because one time, I'll tell you why. Because one time she fucked an outfielder for the Padres, and now she thinks that's how hot she is. That's why. And then from every standpoint, from that point forward, if you don't match up to that, then you aren't good enough. And so like I just cannot believe. So three of my closest friends, Kindly Myers, Caitlin Runk, and CJ Sparks. I'm really close to them. I'm also close with like Emily Sears, Lindsay Palis, and Chloe Teray. They're huge models. They're always professional. Whenever they come to a shoot or a party, they're always on time. They're like it's incredible. I'll have some girl who's just like kind of busted, bro. She's kind of mid with like 4,000 followers, and she's literally asking me for a hotel room in Los Angeles. I'm like, why would we do this? Like I'm just it's so crazy. And then here's what else is crazy. Sometimes we offer to pay kindly to come to like some of our events. We'll like pay for our airfare because she's a huge follower and she's a huge following, and she raises money for our charity events. And she says, no, I'm not going to do it. You don't have to pay me. It's so crazy how this like abundance mindset with people who are successful are just so much better. 100%. It's so much better. I learned so much more going out with Dan Fleischman, and I'm sitting there to Eric Spofford and Wes Watson, who are just like, they're like, nobody's concerned about petty shit. These guys are so fucking successful. There's no pettiness. There's nothing that slows them down. And it's so interesting when you see people that are abundance mindset, they're easier to deal with and they're richer. It's just, and then the same thing with models. They're easier to deal with and they're hotter. It's just so crazy how this one area of the world, it's like, and that's one thing that I found is like when some of my guy friends have become photographers, some of my clients have become photographers, and I'm like, if you keep aiming higher, you'll notice it's way easier. Yeah. When you start aiming lower and you try to do, that's why what was it? Grant Cardone was talking about the single family homes, and he wants the multi units because when you deal with that type of situation, there's just like less drama. Can you talk about that? Do you have a similar instance?
No, 100%. So raising money from investors, it's exactly like that. My larger check investors that are floating $300,000, $400,000 checks without asking any questions, they're so easy. I just text them the opportunity. They're like, hey, count me in for $350. They wire the money in right away. There's no questions asked along the way. And we do monthly reporting, but they're just so chill. Never hear from them, right? Because they're used to writing these big checks and they got so much other big shit going on. They're not worried about floating that money. Now, it's the $25,000 investor, the $50,000 investor that's never invested before. Those are the ones that have a million questions. They want to do an audit. They want to go drive by the property. They want to do their own due diligence. And quite frankly, it's like, no, like our investors invest with us because they know they don't have to understand all the ins and outs of the real estate. Right? They invest with us because they trust us. Yeah. And so if you're going to trust us, great. But if not, and you're going to ask a million questions, you want to do all these audits, it's like, I just tell them, hey, I'm sorry, but we're not going to be a fit. Let me point you in the right direction with some other operators that might be willing to take your money.
Yeah.